Yes, hello, welcome to Make It Saturday here on Crafters TV, brought to you by Crafters Companion. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is George Akid, and it's my absolute pleasure to be back on this fine Saturday, one of my favourite shows of the week. Very biased on that, but I am very excited because I know it's one of your favourite shows as well. Loads to get through in the next 2 and a bit hours, including prize giveaways. Yes, every Make It Saturday, you have got a chance to get yourself some goodies. Now, you're thinking, how on earth do I win? It's so simple. All you've got to do is comment. The wonderful Jan is on the socials. All you got to do is comment, and that is entering you into the prize draw today. It is as simple as that. Now, as well with the Make It Saturday, we've got a Make It Saturday goodie bag, and we'll be getting to that very, very shortly, but I need someone to help me out. And, well, it's not Lily this week. No. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from over there, please welcome the one, the only, it's Craig Laird. Come on, Craig. What is he? He's running in. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
I wasn't sure if we were quite going to show that shot or not, so I thought...
That's him here. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, thank you very much.
Are you excited for your Make It Saturday debut?
I am really, really excited. Absolutely, really excited for my first one. Obviously, been dotting in and seeing yourself and Lily the last couple of weeks and that, and then, of course, Ben and Sarah. But, yeah, what one am I on? Sorry, I forgot to ask. Five. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to ask Sam what one I was on. So, yeah, really looking forward to this one. Apparently, if you caught Craft Along, you will know that it was kind of dropped on me that we kind of demo something that I don't know what I'm demoing.
We're calling it off the hoof craft is what we call it. Well, our lovely viewers call it. Now, in a few moments, I'm going to show you the Make It Goodie Bag.
Okay.
And then after that, you've then got to create something. Think Ready, Steady, Cook back in the day with the bag of goodies and the ingredients.
Did you know I was on Can't Cook, Won't Cook?
Were you?
March 1999.
Right. What was that?
So that was, everyone saying, oh, Ready, Steady, Cook. No, it was like the other one. It was the Can't Cook, Won't Cook. Oh. 2 contestants. Yeah, it was a Mother's Day and comic relief special, 1999. So, yes, I was, what was I? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14.
Yeah.
See? There's only a did you win?
They made it a draw because it was a kid's special.
Of course.
I wasn't happy about. So I should have won, but...
But listen, I know what you're going to win this week.
What's that?
Demo of the week.
Oh,
Yes. Guaranteed to win that this week.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, we'll be getting to that a little bit later on. But I tell you what, you get yourself ready. I'll tell everyone else what's coming up, and I'll see you very, very shortly.
I shall see you shortly.
See you shortly, Craig. Like Craig said, we'll be doing our demo of the week as well during the show. But it is all about you. Like we said, get involved by commenting. You've entered yourself into the prize draw. And as well, there are some great savings to be had on the website. Now, this is a brilliant deal. It's our spend and save. The more you spend, the more you save. Now, you can see just there, save more. £5 off when you spend 30. £10 off when you spend 50. It couldn't be simpler. Now, all you got to do is enter the code. So it's spend, save 5, spend, save 10. That's all you got to put in there. The graphics will come in as if by magic. I'll try it again. Sorry, it's not magic. It's not good enough, Sam. Don't you worry, mate. It's... Okay, listen. We'll try it again. Okay.
Yay!
There we go. Professionals. Look at it. There it is. £5 off when you spend 30, £10 off when you spend 50. All you got to do is put spend, save 5, spend, save 10, and that'll get you a discount as well. And as well, for you guys stateside, oh my goodness, have we got a brilliant bit of news for you now. At the moment, ladies and gentlemen, for the guys over in the States, $75 is the minimum you have to spend, maximum, for free shipping. So it used to be $125. We've reduced it. $75 for you guys over in the States means you get free shipping.
Nice.
Ooh. So it's as simple as that. Loads of great deals for you to have. Loads of you saying hello. Shrill on Facebook, good morning from San Antonio to my fellow crafters. Evelyn on Facebook, wow, Craig and George. It'll be a great show. It's always a great show. Stephen, good afternoon. Craig and George. Pat, good day, George, Craig. Super talented CTV crew. And all my lovely friends from rainy New Jersey. With teeth back in. Lily Fletcher's watching. Hello, George, Craig, and everyone watching. Can't wait for the goodie bag demo already. Are you missing? She's missing us. She's been here for the last few Saturdays. She's missing us. I'll tell you what, we're not going to miss this week, though. No. It's our Make It Saturday goodie bag. Every Saturday, we bring you a brand new goodie bag. And I did tease this a little bit earlier on. there are two 12 by 12 paper pads in here. £35, $45, your clearance buyer price at £28, $36. My goodness, right. So Craig, like I said, you have to see what's in here, and you have to make something with this in a few short moments. Right, put it down here so I can actually get inside. Now, the first thing in here that I'm going to give you is precision tweezers, because I want to just keep you teased a little bit longer, or keep you tweezed. Okay, I'm back, right. A little bit longer. They're in there for you. Now, as well, we've also got your Arabian Nights Silhouette Skyline die. That is in there. That's a really lovely die. Nice big die. That's in there for you today. I'll give you one of these 12 by 12 paper pads. If I can get my fingers on it. You've also going to be getting in there today the vintage scrapbook paper pad, 12 by 12. I've been practicing. Oh, it's sealed. It's sealed. I'm not going to break the seal. Not going to break it. You can break this if you want to use that, Craig. That's in there. And the other 12 by 12 paper pad in there for you as well. It is stuck in the bag. It's the Violet Studios. There it is for you. The fantastic little circus. Look at that. Perfect. That's in there. Maybe, Craig, you could have a little bit of this, a little bit of that together. You
could do.
Put some tweezers on it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Then, also, rocker blocks. You're getting a rocker block set within this goodie bag as well for you today. So, I know you can't, but you can use these.
Smell what the rock is blocking.
Something to do with wrestling. I don't know. I play with Lego. Right. Also, stencils. Now, these are massive stencils. I've not seen these ones before. The Golden Fall, they're in there for you as well. You've also got more paper stock. In fact, it's your 5 colour pack Centura Pearl Dark collection. That's in there for you as well. 5 different colours, all within, look at that, wonderful sheen on it as well for you. And there's loads more in here as well. We've also got your Cake Heaven dies. They're in there for you as well. You've also, oh my goodness, this bag goes on. Look at that, the fantastic Pretty Lace die edgeable. That is in there for you as well. You've also got your star. Again, sentiments and dies within there for you as well. There's even more, few more dies in here for you as well. You've also got the fantastic Majestic Unicorn, stamp and die. That is in there for you as well. And an embossing folder for you as well. The beautiful butterfly. Plus, if that wasn't enough for you, Spectrum Noir sparkle pens. Fantastic 3 shades for you in there. You've got your rose quartz, your soft jade, and your moonstone. All of that is there with inside your Make It Saturday goodie bag. Now, Craig, I'm going to bring this over to you. Okay. To get yourself prepared. Right. All ready. Okay. We'll get straight into it. Well, okay. Listen, Nicola, if we want to get straight into it, we'll get straight into it. Right, Craig, how are you feeling? I'm coming over. Okay. What are you thinking?
So I'm thinking little circus paper pad. Okay. I'm thinking some form of like decoupage, but I've kind of already done that in some way. Yeah. So maybe think instead of perimage, what about like enapage?
What's enapage?
Can I use nesting dies? Or can I only use...
Nicola is the adjudicator on this. Nicola? Like, she's saying yes.
Right, okay. Right, so let's go... Let's use that one.
Right.
Let's just take this out and have a little nose.
I mean, but for the price in this, by the way, the 2 paper pads,
well,
the cardstock.
Yeah, that's
sparkle
true.
pens.
Put a few things extra in, take advantage of that code, eh?
Absolutely. Do you get that you can use a code on this, Nicola?
You're bound to, I would have thought so.
So in theory, because it's £35, you can use your code on here. Here's the code for you, remember. Spend save 5, spend save 10. So in theory, today's goodie bag is coming at you £5 cheaper. Oh my goodness. Giving it away.
Isn't it?
And there's so much within that. I mean, it's even the precision tweezers, because you might not actually buy the precision tweezers. It might be, oh, I don't need them, but I think once you've got them, you're going to start using them all the time as well. And the rocker blocks, I mean, they're a great little set in there as well.
Great for, or the tweezers, great for anything if you're doing like heat embossing, things like that. Rocker blocks is one of those, you know, and in all honesty, rocker blocks are probably one of those things you either use them a lot or you don't use them a lot. Some like the stamping platform over the rocker blocks.
Absolutely.
Some, of course, love rocker blocks as a whole.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do actually is I'm still going to go with my initial thought.
Okay.
But instead of using nesting dies, let's see if I can do what I'm thinking of doing, but without the aid of like die cutting machines.
Oh.
Right. So
we're very excited by simple things. I just in my ear went, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It is exciting. So you've taken the tiny circus.
I have, yeah. So gone in with the circus paper pad here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, if I think, let's think maybe square-wise. So if we go in with the seal.
Yep.
So what I want to do is I want to have, or I want to use all three of them, George. So let's go...
All three seals?
All three seals.
Right, you've taken 3 sheets.
Yes. So taking the 3 sheets. Now you could just trim them up, or like trim this while it's still in the pad, so this isn't going to be loose.
Yeah.
That's entirely up to you. I'm just going to take them out here. So I've got the other 2 here. Of course, our paper trimmer will cut the 2 with absolute ease. And then what I will do is, let's take, now also what I'm thinking, I want a little bit of stability, because what's that, about 180?
180
GSM, yeah. Now I could just use one of these. However, that's a really good quality Centura Peril cardstock. We're not actually going to see the pearlescent. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with our white card. Doesn't have to be a really, really, really good quality white card.
Yeah.
Because we're actually just going to use this as a form of stability.
Right, okay.
So if I take, let's go, have I got a permanent spray here? Repositionable, adhesive cleaner.
When we say it's off the hoof, it really is off the hoof.
It is, it really, really is. Do we have the red top permanent adhesive spray?
I can't
All
see
of
it.
the other ones at the side, just not the red top. Right, so let's use then our tacky glue. Now, what I'm going to do here is I want to make sure whether I am using my tacky glue, whether I'm using my tape runner, my spray, or self-adhesive sheets. Actually, if we've got them, we could use them. What I want, George, is I want to make sure I've got a really, really strong but even adhesive on the back.
Okay.
And this will become apparent shortly as to why. Let's also see, for an alternative, have I got... we really are on
I
the
mean,
hoof
you go
here,
into the
aren't we?
second shelves. I've never seen anybody go to the second shelves over there.
What I'm looking for is...
Not the second shelves.
As an... Here we go, I can also... The other option as well, what we can do is if we take... Well, I'll get 2 out here. Do you know what I'm going to use? Some, and we'll use glue for the end. So this is giving you options. Either use your tacky glue, use your permanent spray, or use your tape runner, or use your adhesive sheets. We're there, yeah. Got my hair there. So I'm going to go onto the corner for now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do the same, just with this one here. And the bit at the back where there's no adhesive, we can use glue there.
Right.
So let's go back in with our tape runner. Now, if you're using something like an adhesive sheet, what you don't want to do is actually cut on that sticky adhesive, because what it's going to do, it's going to gunk up your blade.
Right,
It's going to make it really, really sticky. It's going to be hard to use. So what you're actually wanting to do, George, is you actually want to cut just onto the paper.
I see.
So just make sure that our blade is going to be cutting onto the paper, not the adhesive. And now, as you can see, it's stuck to there.
Yeah.
Very, very sticky. But what it's not done is it's not stuck to the blade.
No.
So I can tear that down there. So what I've now got is an edge-to-edge sticky background. So if I take that one and just make sure the blade's just pinged away, so there's a little notch, there we go. See, it goes to show that the adhesive sheets are very
strong. I can't believe how strong they are.
sticky. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to roughly cut, and then I'll trim it.
And will that not gunk up the scissors?
As long as I do it on the card as well.
Right, okay.
So if I get as close to the card as I can, you know, our scissors are incredible quality, but if we take... Interesting.
That's very interesting. Nicola was just saying, all the scissors are back available on the websites. Even the really big scissors, but the little scissors, are they available? Oh,
My
all the
little
scissors.
snippy ones, they are. They're my favourite.
Sorry, Sam, what? The big scissors go through plywood?
Oh, tested
tested
it.
it.
Oh, you're doing a bit of DIY, Sam? Oh, his little
you're
miniature
crafting.
house. Yeah.
I like Sam. It's those little random facts I like.
Okay.
It's not what I thought you were going to say, but we're there.
Sam has been directing all week while I've been here. And we've had some fun. It's like a little quiet mouse just in the background.
But when you say something...
And then he comes out with some humdingers of comments, tips, ideas.
Like the big scissors cut through plywood.
Yeah.
I mean, what other wood?
And other wood. They're good for food as well, but just if you're using them for food, make sure that you don't then cut your plywood and that with them.
No, or your chopping board. If you're cutting the chopping board. Are you a wooden chopping board person or are you a ceramic chopping board?
Oh, I used to be. Now, I don't like the idea of germs and all that being cut into the board because it's wood and stuff like that.
I thought that, but it blunts your knives.
Right, okay.
No. Ceramic, like a ceramic chopping board, sorry, wrong way around. Blunts your knives. A wooden one doesn't blunt your knives.
Okay.
So run the risk, guys, run the risk. Listen, Make It Saturday is all about the hard-hitting conversations, like which chopping board should you use?
So it's usually plastic that I go for.
You go for plastic? Okay, yeah, I get
plastic.
that. Yeah.
So this one is the one that I've used with the glue on the back of the card.
Yeah.
These ones now, what I've got is I've got these as, essentially, as a sticker. So if I take that backing off, let's just get right into, you do that one.
Yeah, I'm doing it, yes.
And then I will do this one. And now what I can do is I can stick this onto my card. So if you're just joining, what I'm wanting to do is I want to create stability with these, because these toppers are 180 GSM.
Yeah.
So to do what I'm going to do, I want to have that little bit of extra stability.
Did it?
You got it.
You know what Lily once tried to do with me on Make It
what's
Saturday
that?
when I was trying to help? There was a set of colorista pens within the set. She tried to palm me off like a toddler.
To colour?
To colour. With colouring.
When she didn't even need anything coloured?
No, she was just... And I was like, you think I'm going to do that? No way. I know you fell for it.
You
Then I
did you?
realised...
Did you?
I'm not a mug. I was using a Scottish word then.
Yeah.
Peggy Brown on YouTube. The scissors are great. I ordered the 6-inch yesterday. Hey, it's nice, Peggy Brown.
They're incredibly sharp.
They are sharp. A lot of you are very excited to see what Craig's going to make with this.
Do you know what? Craig's really excited to see what he's going to make as well. Right, so we have got our 3 toppers now. They're nice, they're strong, they're sturdy, they're on that 300 GSM. So this is where I could have wanted to use a nest and die, but I'm not. Let's use our paper trimmer here. So I'm going to, for this one, George, let's go at what? We'll go 1 inch, 1 1/4. So what I'm going, let's go back to 1 inch. 1 inch here. And I'm going to create that 1 inch frame all the way around. So I'm also just eyeing it up so I've got the 1 inch. So I'm going to come down. Now this is, because I've done a little bit of trimming, it's just under the 6 inch. So therefore I want to come just under the 5 inch. And then I'm going to do that all the way around. So we're going to go in again, and then we're going to come down just before that 5 inch, and then we're repeating that step all 4 sides here. So in where we start to cut, just before we get to the 5, and then we can do that again right now into here. I can just do join to join.
That's very therapeutic.
So that it really is. It really, really is. So we can take that out. So now what we've got is we've got our frame, or we've got an additional topper. Now this is where you can start to do kind of like pyramage. So if you were to pop foam pads on the back, and then you can start to layer it up. So instead of like fussy cut and decoupage, you can then start to then layer that up. So what we're doing is we've got our one, so this is going to be our, try to think. No, I don't need to worry about a base.
Okay.
Don't need to worry about a base. So I'm going to do that again, Joe. I'm just conscious if there's any comments coming through.
Do you know what? I think everyone's just watching.
Just
and
watching
excited
and
to see what
seeing.
you make. So I've got a question.
Yeah.
The decoupage, that is...
When you raise up when your
Raise
foam
up.
pads or glue gel.
The other coupage that you said?
So there's Pyramage.
Pyramage, what's pyramage?
Pyramage is, so there's inner page
Yeah.
and pyramage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm away to show you right now. Decoupage, we tend to say, is decoupage is like if you fussy cut.
Right.
So they're along the same lines.
Yeah.
But decoupage is if you fussy cut, start to layer up, and then you've got pyramage and inner page that I'll show you right now.
And fromage free?
Good one. Good one.
I generally was interested in that came to me. Rebecca has just bought the goodie bag and used the code. So I presume by the price you've paid, you are a platinum member. £23 is what she's just paid for this entire Make It Saturday goodie bag.
How good is that?
That is great.
That's really good.
Two 12 by 12 paper pads, the Centura Pearl Darks, 40 sheets of that, you're getting stencils, you're getting a set of rocker blocks, you're getting 3 sparkle pens, tweezers, loads of dies, loads of stamps, loads of embossing folders, and every Saturday is a brand new bag.
Brand new bag each time.
Each time.
Now this time what I've done is I've come in 1 3/4 of an inch, and then this one, let's do this, will give me probably a really small square. So I'm just going to roughly, I'm not actually scoring or cutting there, I'm just kind of visually doing that so I get an idea. Let's go 2 1/4. I'm going to do the same, so this time I'm coming in, that 2 1/4 mark, roughly coming up, and then we're working our way around. So if you like the idea of how this will look, you can do it with your nesting dies, but this also goes to show how you can use your paper trimmer.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in here, right. So I think we are pretty much good to go. So what we can do is if we take the smallest one, then what we could do, let's just put a bit of cardstock at the back. So if we take the smallest one, and then we come along with that one, you can see how what we're starting to see is we're starting to see that image, but we're going inwards. And then if I was to take that one, and then raise that one on foam pads, and then if I was to take that one, and then we'll layer these on foam pads, what's going to happen is you're going to get that full image. Let's, just so you can get the idea before we stick it together, George, let's pop that one into the back. So ideally, that one would be layered on foam pads above that one, like so. And then we could do the same. Let's just take some for now. That will then go into, obviously you're not going to see the foam pads, this is giving you an idea. And then same with this next one. So the main image is a way down into the background. Where so this is inner page because you're going inwards. But what you could have is pyramage. Where some people say pyramid, where you've got your first layer. Try to think, can I show you with this one? So, yes.
It's the world's most complicated jigsaw puzzle, this.
That's it, here we go. So if I take these bits, like so, and then use those instead, this is where you're going to have kind of like your pyramid, like so. So you're just going to line them up. So this way it's going from the base and it's like a pyramid coming upwards, whereas what we're going to do is we're going to do that inner page where you're looking inwards. So this is us now got the basis, and this is why I wanted it on a sturdier cardstock. So 180 GSM, although it's a really good heavyweight paper, when you're starting to layer it up, it might start to fold and flop slightly. So I wanted it on. So it will be that one, it will then be that one, and it'll be that one, and then you've got these two that you could then use on a separate card if you want to. So now that I've got that, let's just have a little look and a play, do a little card blank. Maybe do a little bit of colouring with the glitter pens. But because that is going to be roughly 6 by 6, let's create our own 7 by 7 card blank. and then we can go into the next step.
So on YouTube, I would use nesting dice for this. Listen, Craig, what I'm about to say, I don't want this to go to your head. I definitely don't have Craig's ninja trimmer skills. She's calling you a ninja.
A ninja.
We all knew
a
it.
ninja. And that's why, right at the start, I wanted to point out that you can absolutely use your nesting dies, and a lot of people that might like that idea would definitely go for the nesting dies.
Yeah.
But you've always got options as well when it comes to the paper trimmer.
Yeah, I love you saying Stephen said that as well. That's great, good, Craig. The thing is, I would have used nesting dice to be the safe side. But that's
Fine.
it. Absolutely. And as well, remember, if it goes wrong, it don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You know?
It's only a bit of cardstock.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you cut one of the layers wrong, if we were to, I don't know, say there was this one, George, and we've cut it wrong around there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, just take the next one up, cover it up.
Fine.
So there's always ways around it.
Yeah. Has the seal got a name? Is he named the seal?
Sam.
Sam the seal. Sam. Oh,
Sam.
mate.
Sam the seal.
There we are. I mean, it's a great design, though, this. I've not seen this before, I don't think.
Have you not?
No, do you know, but I know when a paper pad's good because you could cut these up into 4 and use these as pictures in a nursery.
Of course you could.
Frame them straight away.
On my Crafters Companion YouTube, I've used these, and funny enough, I've fussy cut and done decoupage. What I really want to do, and I've not done it yet, George, is I want to do the same with that one. I think that, because I love fussy
But
cutting.
why would you? I wouldn't even.
But you wouldn't have to.
No,
You wouldn't
I'd
have
send
to.
that as a 12 by 12 card.
Yeah,
Absolutely would be.
Even if you wanted to, like 3 12 by 12 box frames, because you've got 3 of them. Even if you want to personalise it with your alphabet dies, you can do that. Or in a box frame, and the little string lights, battery operated string lights, maybe from the side. But if you are like me and like the idea of fussy cutting, I would love to do that. I just need to get the time to do that.
Miss T Georgia Peach on YouTube says, can we change the name from fussy cut to expert cut? Fussy cut sounds like a chore. Expert cut makes you feel like an expert after you've cut the nooks and crannies of an image.
Okay, could do, couldn't we?
I mean, we'll try. We'll see what happens. It's Debbie Robinson you've got to get past. She's the queen of language. Chunky, yeah, chunky glue. Kalal glue, she made chunky glue, didn't she?
Yeah, that's true. There was a time, I don't know if it still happens now, there was a time that if you typed chunky glue in the website, it actually, or does it not work?
Doesn't work.
There was a time that if you put in chunky glue in the website, it actually came up the glue gel. That was funny.
That's what I mean, that woman's changed crafting, you know?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Don't tell her that, because...
No, do tell her.
Yeah, no, but
Do tell her.
keep her, you know. I'm with her next on Friday.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm here on Good Friday. And I don't just Saturdays, people. Oh, no. I get wheeled out for all the big occasions.
I'm working too, but at Hobby Maker.
You're a hobby maker.
Yeah.
We can have an Easter egg each.
Yeah, well,
It's Easter next Sunday.
It is, yeah. Do you know what else it is next Sunday?
Your birthday?
No. Night 2 of WrestleMania.
Are you on commission?
No. In Vegas. Night 2.
What's WrestleMania?
The big wrestling event of the year. They call it the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's in Vegas this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rather than an Easter egg.
So I'm going to be a whole weekend at Hobby Maker doing all-nighters.
I thought you were going to say you're going. Like, I thought you were going to go.
I am next year.
Are you?
In New Orleans. New Orleans, WrestleMania 42.
He's going.
FYI, change the subject slightly. When you're using anything like your sparkle pens or that, you do not need that yellow cut up. Please chop it in half because they aren't recyclable. So if they get in a landfill and the little animals that get caught into them, so please do just chop them in half so that doesn't happen.
Honestly, it's like David Attenborough.
Oh, no, that's a legend. He's someone that whoever, if anything is above, needs to protect him.
Yes, absolutely. Bless you. So what colour have you gone for the rose quartz?
So I've gone in with the, funny enough. Should have just agreed with you.
I read the back of the box. I'm not good.
So before we do a little bit of accent colouring here, let's start to then just layer this up. I'm going to keep it really simple here. I've created my own 7x7 card blank. Now usually, as many of you will know, I always have my own card blanks already made to size. In the UK, we are really, really lucky that we have an absolute abundance of different card blank sizes available. Stateside, not as lucky. You're really quite limited, but you can make your own. So what I've done is I've taken our white cardstock and I've cut them both to 7 by 7. Debbie Robinson, she'll do it slightly different. For instance, me, I've just scored along about at the ½ inch mark at the top, and then I'm going to stick that on top, and I will do that in a moment.
Yeah.
What Debbie Robinson will do, she'll very roughly, I think she'll maybe cut it to about 7½ inches. She'll score at that half, and then what she will then do is then like fold it over.
Yeah.
No right or wrong way. The great way with doing, bless you. The great way with doing, well, the way with doing it my way, what will happen though, let's just see if I can line it up properly, is you won't have a full 7 by 7 layer. You're going to have 7 by 6.5.
Yes.
Whereas if you do it Debbie's way, that will give you a full 7 by 7 background. So horses for courses. You do it the way that you want. So let's go in with this paper here.
Yeah, let's get this layered up.
Let's add this layered up. I tell you what, let's give us a little slither of sort of, oh, this has got the blue in it, hasn't it?
It's very exciting. Honestly, it's very exciting. Don't forget, once Craig's done this, we'll be going to a break, and then it'll be Craft Clinic, and it's all about ink pads. So if you've got any questions about ink pads, how to use them, what to use them for, what are the different kinds of ink pads, all you've got to do is comment, and we'll get those to Craig very, very shortly. And remember, by asking us a question, you've automatically put yourself in for that prize draw. And at around 3 o'clock here in the UK, that will be 10 a.m. over on the East Coast, we will be choosing our first winner of those vouchers. That make it, on that side, there it is. Make it sound, it's right in my head. That is for you.
Budge along a little bit.
That's all right, that's okay.
I don't smell. No, I definitely don't smell.
No. So, that is coming up for you very, very shortly. Ink pads, Craig, there's loads to come from. You're going to take us all through different kinds of ink pads, what we've got, what to use them for, any further questions, people get in touch.
So those that watch on a daily basis will be like, Craig, did you not do an ink pad masterclass on Monday with Debbie? I absolutely did. But I asked to have kind of like a little recap clinic for this weekend. For those that have maybe not been able to go back and catch up yet, for those that just want another little recap when it comes to ink pads. So yes, if there is anything, maybe you didn't see the show, maybe you've forgotten anything specific you want to ask, then ask away.
And I'll try and do as many as possible. I'll try and get as many questions as possible, quick fire some of them.
Yes, and I will try and be quick and precise in my answers instead of you like being all over the place just to get back to the initial point of.
But sometimes you need that.
I remember, do you know what I'm like? Have you ever seen that photo of, it's like two lines, there's like a straight line, there's a squiggly line, and it's like how my dog gets to point A and how my dog that's a Labrador gets to point A, and it's like the Labrador's like, that's like me when it comes to explanations.
That was
Instead of me just going straight to the point, answering your questions, I'll go everywhere just to get to that point.
Yeah, but people like that. People love that about you.
Well, that's the main thing, as long as they like it. Right, let's go in here. So let's start. So it's going to be that one, then it's going to be that one, and then it's going to be that one. So let's go and we're going to pop that one on flat. So another tip as well, it's like, well, how do you get that one kind of in the centre? What I'm going to do is let's pop that back and let's align that up. Let's pop that in and then lift, so I know that that's bang centre into the middle. Right, George, let's get you. Have I got any other bigger foam pads? We've got foam on a roll. So
is that still a thing?
Craig, it's not a thing for Craig, no. You go around that. We're not doing a shaker, so don't worry about it being connected to the end. Yes, Craig, that's long gone for Craig. Craig's never been a fan of that. Debbie Fisher always tried to keep it going when I was about,
but how do you really feel about it?
I hate it. I hate it. Detest it. I love her.
Yeah.
Hate the song. But I think it's kind of died a death now, hasn't it?
Now I'm back. Keep me kicking in the 2022s.
Yeah, no, it's catchy to start with for like the first few minutes. All right, let's go
There we are then.
around. And then let's go in. So you could be using your larger foam pads. If you manage to get a hold of your A4 foam pad sheets that I had on just yesterday, you could be using them. They're a good one to be using. Fab. And then if you do the same with that one for me, thanking you. So that one can go into here. So we're now lining that back up. And then we're going to take these ones off. You can, if you want, use your glue gel. More than welcome to. Thing with glue gel, you just need to let that dry.
Yeah.
Let's go round.
And we haven't got the time for that.
Well, no, we don't. We definitely
Got
don't.
so much of this show as well.
Is that kind of like Craig, hurry up?
Yeah, basically. I'm joking.
No, I know you are.
As well, this has all been made possible for that Make It Saturday goodie bag, available today. Now remember as well, you've got the spend and save online. So the wonderful, I can't remember what it was now, got the Make It Saturday goodie bag for £22, because all you have to do was put that fantastic spend save 5 code in online. So you spend 30, you get 5 off. If you spend 50, you get 10 off. Remember as well, coming up for you a little bit later on, we've got your Saturday Sizzler deals as well. So much within those, some great bargains to be had with your Saturday Sizzler deals. If you want to get ahead of the game, have a look on the website and you'll find them all there for you as well.
Gosh, there's lots going on this Saturday, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I've been needing to sit down and a rest by the end of this show. That is my plan for the rest of the day, to be fair. That is my plan. Well, I do have last night's wrestling to catch up with.
Absolutely.
Got that one. And then do you know what? I might treat myself to a takeaway tonight.
What are you going to have?
Oh, I think I might go for an Indian. Oh, I love an Indian. Yeah, might go for an Indian. What's your choice at home? What's your choice?
Look at me, I love anything. I do like an Indian, but the poppadoms and the pickle tray are my favourite thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it not last weekend? The weekend before Mother's Day. I'd gone home for the weekend, and me and my brother took my mum and stepdad out for tea, but went for an Indian, local Indian. Oh, so nice. But I'm not good with the spice, George.
It's Scotland. Like Birmingham is famous for curries. Isn't Scotland famous for its curries as well?
Yeah, I have a lot of incredible Indian restaurants in Scotland, yeah. Yep, we do indeed. Now, within this bundle, actually, the glitter pens that you've got, sparkle pens you've got, actually work really well with this collection. So I tell you what, the either all of it, George, or one of the two tones of the pinky peach.
I'm going to do all of it, Craig.
You go for it.
Because I've been painting my house recently.
So you're a dab hand.
Cutting in is the bane of my life. You know when you try and like merge the colours and you get it on?
I know so well.
Oh, my goodness.
I love DIY. I detest painting. And you know what's worse?
Yeah, what?
Painting on the ceiling. Well, not quite literally painting on the ceiling.
Wasn't that a Lionel Richie song?
Yeah, painting on the ceiling.
My dad did that for me.
What, painted on the ceiling?
Yeah, I think he's blind. I'm going to be honest with you.
Did you miss bits?
There's more on the floor than there was on the ceiling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I must have been blind myself because there's big patches missing. But the ceiling is that bit where I get to the point of, it's like, you know, it depends on the sunlight, it depends on the reflection of the light through the windows. You think you've painted it all, and then nighttime comes and you see that big bit that you've missed. Awesome.
Look at that. Like a ninja. But ninja, you're the cutting ninja, I'm the glitter slapping it on ninja.
The colouring ninja.
The colouring ninja, thank you.
Colouring ninja. And there, you can see what will happen just as that dry. We'll start to get that sparkle. Now, we've got an abundance of sentiments in the other bags and stuff like that. I'm going to leave it for now because I'm conscious of time. But look at that. So that is your inner page by looking inwards. But yeah, you've got your sentiments within the unicorn you could be using. You've got a couple of sentiments in that star one that you could be using as well. So yeah, you've still got lots. I know there's loads in here. The stamps you use are rocker blocks. You go rustic with the papers and all of that. But yeah, going right back to that's the inner page, the outer page. That's the inner page.
Yeah.
The pyramage and inner page. And then obviously I talked you through verbally the decoupage. We got there in the end.
All made possible that Make It Saturday goodie bag, £35, $45. Club Inspired price. There's so much within here. Rocker blocks, there's cards, there's stencils, there's two 12x12 paper pads, tweezers. Listen, loads in there. Remember, if you do buy duplicates, you are getting the exact same things. Just bear that in mind. Right, we're going to take a short break. After the break, the wonderful Craig is going to be having the craft clinic. We'll make sure the doors are open for the craft clinic, and it's all about inks. We've got a few questions already, so get your questions in. Jan will take those for us, and remember, by doing so, you've entered yourself into that prize draw. We'll see you back shortly.
My favourite part is the interaction we can have with the lovely presenters.
The laughter and the giggles and the dressing up and the jokes.
Really fun and really good, and sometimes the only laugh you will get when you're not feeling well.
There's a personal connection with the presenters and the demonstrators.
The inspiration and clear instruction is patiently presented.
I love everyone that I have come to know on Crafters TV.
Well, you got two comedians, Dan and Craig. They're not comedians really, they're brilliant.
Presenters are great. Demonstrators are great.
Number one is the enjoyment I get from watching Ben and all of the demonstrators making the projects.
You are all so down to earth and genuine people, always willing to share and help.
Personal connection with everyone that's involved in Crafters TV.
For me, they have become my friend, creating a personal connection and making you feel part of a crafting family.
And get me a chuckle. It just feels like you're right there in my living room.
Missed your favourite Crafters TV shows this week? Feel like you've missed out on the best crafting deals? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Join us for Second Chance Sunday, your ultimate catch-up on the top 10 deals, demos and must-see moments from the past week. From incredible discounts to inspiring crafting, this is your second chance to grab the best of the best. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Tune in to Second Chance Sunday, only on Crafters TV. Because every crafter deserves a second chance. You do know this isn't a real door, don't you?
Look who I'm with. I'm down at Hobby Maker, and look who was in.
Oh God, it's been years.
Are you just sitting doing it? Oh my God,
This
Hobby,
is
look at
this is this afternoon.
Oh,
Look at this.
listen, I've got some amazing news. Sandra is coming to Crafters TV.
I know.
Tell them, when are you on?
Next week, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, right. And what are you going to be doing?
Oh, we've got Written in the Stars.
Right.
We've got some back to class products to come on as well. So if you couldn't get to class or you've never been to one, you think I want to have a go, I've got some stencils that are going to enable you to do what we've done in class. So you're going to be able to draw some things that you never thought possible. Absolutely, it's going to be wonderful.
Sandra does this incredible technique. You've never seen it before, right? It's like grown-up doodling, isn't it?
It is, absolutely it is. Imagine you've got a ruler and you draw
Right.
a straight line. Easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
easy because you can't draw a straight line without one.
Yeah.
So if you've got a stencil that allows you to draw some shapes and you know which order to put them in and where to add a bit of shade, you suddenly created a wonderful piece of artwork. And that's as easy as it is. Honestly, I know it's easy for me to say, but it is. That's how you do it.
We have been friends for years, and I'm so excited
long.
that we're going to have it back on Crafters TV. I know you're going to love the stuff. You're going to learn so much. So Wednesday. Preview on Wake Up Call, and then she's got her own show in the afternoon. It's going to be incredible. Right, we'll see you then.
All right, have you a good show yourself. See you soon.
Yes, welcome back to Make It Saturday with me, George Akid, and the fantastic Craig as well. The craft clinic is here, the doors are open, it's all about ink pads. Loads of you getting those questions in, and we'll try and get through as many as possible. Remember, by asking your questions, you've entered yourself into that prize draw to win some fantastic vouchers. So, Craig, before we go into the questions, at Crafters Company, we've got a number of different ink pads, and in the crafting world, there's different inks. What are the different inks that we've got?
Rightio. So yeah, we'll have a lovely variety that all serves a purpose when it comes to each of the craft that you are doing, whether it is just colouring, whether it is backdrops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at kind of like the two main ones very, very briefly when it comes to colouring, and then the kind of three kind of top, kind of like the famous ones that we do at Crafters Companion. And that is when it comes to colouring, what we've got is we've got our alcohol-proof ink pad here. Really, really easy to distinguish because it has an alcohol pen on the front here. Now, stock dependent, George, what we do have is Noir Black, Flagstone and Pebble. So anything alcohol colouring wise, alcohol base, you're going to be using your alcohol-proof ink pad. When it comes to anything that's water-based colouring, whether of course it's aqua pens, sparkle pens, anything like that, you're going to want to use your waterproof ink pad. That one, it tells you waterproof, and then it's got a paintbrush that you could be using with water. That also comes available, stock dependent, in your Flagstone, your Pebble, rustic brown, as well as the Noir Black. So these two, stamping and colouring, are the two main ones that you'll always be using. With the three top ink pads, our kind of the ones that we started with at Crafters Companion are these three here. You've got a quick dry, a water reactive, and then a pigment. That one, exactly as it says, it dries really, really quick. So sentiment, Laird stamps, Laird stencils, that's a good one. And it's got a picture of Laird flower there from the stencil. Water reactive, that one there, visually it tells you when it comes to the blending tool, good to do in all the blended backgrounds. You can do all your water techniques. So you've got your water reactive, and then what you've got is your pigment one. This is one that stays open longer, or i.e. stays sticky longer. So it's really good to put all your different embossing powders. We do then go into the world of our colour blooms, our duets, our metallic ink pads and that as well. But when it comes to the three main ones that so many of us go back to time and time again, those are the three main ones.
Absolutely. Right, let's get into these questions. Loads of questions, and thank you for getting in touch. Cindy Thompson, what ink pads do you use with aqua pens?
Right. When it comes to your aqua pens, this is where I'm going to say your aqua pens or anything that is water-based. If you're then going to be using the stamp to colour in with, of course, your aqua pens, this is where, George, you're going to come in with your waterproof ink pad.
Yeah.
Now, if you're using your aqua pens to do backdrops, then, of course, you won't need an ink pad. But if you're wanting to stamp out your stamps and then colour those in with, of course, an aqua pen or a sparkle pen or maybe your shimmer pads, anything like that, then this is where you need to stamp with a waterproof ink pad. This one being the waterproof, it tells you waterproof, and it's also got a picture of a paintbrush in water. So anything like your aqua pens is going to be your waterproof ink pad.
Perfect. Rebecca asks, can you go through how to get the best from the Colour Bloom ink pads?
Now, when it comes to the colour bloom, what you want to do is you want to treat them, essentially, what you want to do is treat them exactly the same way as you would do with your water reactive ink pad. So whether, of course, it's water techniques, whether it's going in with the blending techniques, whatever you already do and love to do with your water reactive techniques, you're going to come along and you're going to do with your colour bloom. The difference with a colour bloom is when you spritz them or activate them with water, they're going to have that bit of a colour change. Now, some of the colours might change, really quite strongly. Some of them might be subtle. But whatever you do with your water reactive, the best advice I can give you is use them the same way the colour bloom. The difference is, activate it with water, the colour bloom will change colour.
Perfect. Thank you for those questions. A few very similar questions on this. So, Nina's asking, I've got a couple of duplicates. Will those I have stored away stay juicy for a while? And the wonderful Jeannie's asking, Craig, how long do ink pads usually last?
Gosh, one depends on how many times you use your ink pads will depend on how long they last. I have been with Crafters Companion just over 6 years now, and I have had my water reactive and my quick dry since the beginning. I then got my pigment ink pads maybe about a year or so in. I've not had to replace one of them at all. Not one of them. Now, my water reactives, some of them are starting to get a little bit kind of less intense when it comes to the colour. So a couple of things here. If you duplicate, or if you've got extras that you're not using at the moment, just make sure that they're stored in a cool place, out of sunlight, then they're going to be absolutely fine. They're going to last you such a long time till you need to come and use them. If you find after so many years that they're starting to dry out, maybe things such as your water reactive and that, what I would suggest then is turn them over. Now, when it comes to storing them, all of your ink pads on the trays, you're going to be storing upwards. So you're going to be storing them, George, with the logo sticker facing upwards. So if I take that off, you've then got that sponge, that mat of your ink pad on the top. Now, over time, and I mean like a good number of years, as I say, 6 years, and I've not had to replace any of mine, if you do find that they're starting to get a little bit less juicy, what to do is store them upside down.
Right.
Store them upside down. That will then pull all the ink to the top of the mat there, and then that's going to reinvigorate them and make them juicy again. But yeah, 6 and a bit years, that gives you a good indication of how long that they will last.
It really does, that's incredible. Evelyn asks, I have some colours of the water reactive ink pads and some complementary colours of the quick dry ink pads. Can they be used together?
Now, using your water reactive and your quick dry together, that is a really good question, because water reactive opens the doors for anything and everything technique-wise. This is why they're one of my favourite, or if not my favourite ink pad to be using. Quick dry, being of course the title, quick dry. A lot of people think that all you can do is stamp with them to get that quick impression. So what I mean by that is, let's just bring my stamping platform in here. Now, I'm just going to take a piece of card. Now, I'm just going to go in with a piece of card here, George. I'm just going to press that down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I've just grabbed a stamp, any stamp, and I'm going to go in with this teapot here. So you can see it's a good sizable stamp. Then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go in with the honey pot yellow, because if anything is going to show any smudging or smearing, it is a yellow. It's my quick dry one. So if I bring that in, stamp that, turn this around, I'm going to then ink up like so, and I'm going to do this as quick as I can, and then just make sure my finger's not dirty. Now look at that. That is how quick it is. Doesn't smudge, doesn't smear.
It's incredible.
So that's what a lot of people think you can only use the quick dries for. But you can, technically, you can, if you want to, do a little bit of watercolouring. As long as you're putting them, George, on a non-porous surface, like a glass mat or a tile or a laminated sheet, you can pick them up and watercolour with them.
Amazing.
The only thing is, once that connects with the cardstock, it's dry.
Right.
So you can start to then do water-based techniques with your water reactive, then you can come along and watercolour with your quick dries if you want to. So you can use them together.
Perfect. Crafting Queen, which ink pads are best to use on the resist pads, please?
On the resist pad?
Yes.
Any that are water-based. So I'm going to make it really, really easy. The only ones that I really wouldn't use are the quick dry. Other than that, you could pretty much use any of the other ink pads. There is an argument that yes, you could of course use quick dry because the image will then resist the ink, but you need to keep in mind that the matte cardstock that the resists on, that's going to capture your quick dry ink, and it's not going to budge, it's not going to move. So what I would say is have a play all your other ones. Me personally, I always go with either my duet or my water reactive, but really you can go for any of the other ones.
Perfect, thank you for that question. Karen's asked, I forgot, we'll let you off, Karen. What ink pads can be used to lay down on your glass mat and spritz with water to pick up on your cardstock?
Another really, really good question, and really pretty much all of them. All of them you can do that. What you need to keep in mind, if I go back, of course, and in actual fact, let's use this little pool that I've still got from my quick dry. So because this one here, because it's on a non-porous surface, look, I can still move it and smear it because, of course, it is on a non-porous surface. If I go onto my cardstock, that's not budging.
No.
That is not budging. So going and answering your question, if I activate that with, of course, water, then you can still do your techniques.
And it won't budge?
That will budge at the moment, just because it's still a little bit wet.
I see.
But now, that's pretty much soaked into my cardstock. The chance of that moving is very, very slim. So yes, there is that possibility, and definitely that go-to with using your quick dry. In general, what I tend to do is I will do all my backdrops with my water reactive. I'll do them with my duets, the shimmer ink pads, the colour blooms. They're all good to go by. I tend to steer away from my quick dry, but you can, as you can see, you can still dabble in them when it comes to your techniques with the backdrops.
Amazing. I'm learning so much in this. I'm getting really excited. Trudy, which ink is best to use? I'm not calling you Trudy, by the way. Trudy's asked this. Which ink is best to use with heat embossing?
Heat embossing, really, one straight to go to is your pigment ink pads. That is going to be the best one. So that one there is the ones that are kind of like in that burgundy packet that you've got here. This is because when we say that this stays open longer or wet, what that just means is that enables your embossing powders to stick to it. Now, what it doesn't do, George, is if I was to go like that with on my card or on with my stamp, it's not sticky as in a glue sticky that is going to stick to my hand. What it will do though is it will attract your fine particles of your embossing powder. So when it comes to your embossing powder and heat embossing, the go-to one, in my opinion, is always going to be your pigment and being your opaque pigment, but you can, if you want to, do that with things like your water reactive and your duet, but my go-to is always the pigment.
Flipping that on its head, Eileen's asked, does pigment ink ever dry if you don't emboss with it?
Pigment inks, they do dry, but they take a while to dry. So because of the nature of the formulation, if they stay open longer, or again, wet longer, that just means that if you are going to be using them in a stamping form or layering with your stencils, etc., they will dry, but you will need to leave them for quite a wee while. So in that aspect, if you want them to dry quicker, heat set them with a heat tool. But yeah, don't worry if you're using them and they are taking a while to dry. Absolutely normal. If you want to speed it up, just use your heat tool.
Pat's asking as well about embossing with ink. Can you emboss with the metallic pigment ink pads?
Yes, you can.
Perfect.
Yes, you can. This is where I go back to pretty much all of the ink pads that are water-based that you can then sprinkle your embossing powder over the top. Embossing, I would steer away from the quick dry, and although my go-to is the pigment, you can absolutely go over with your Midas ink pads and that, stamp with them, and then pop your powders over the top.
Right, last few questions. What is the best ink to use on photo paper?
Photo paper, when it comes to ink to be using on photo paper, it's a good one where you could come along with things such as your colour bloom ink pads. What I would say is the actual ink pads that came out with the photo paper, they are the best ones in my opinion, because of course they've all been launched at the same time. They work well together. But that being said, because it is a photo paper, play and experiment. Go in, do the backdrops, smudge your ink pads into your glass mat, spritz with water, because the difference with your photo paper is, of course, it's got that gloss finish over the top. So once it's dry, you get that nice little shiny gloss effect. But do you know what? Play and experiment.
Lovely. Another question for you. What's the best ink to use on vellum and gloss cardstock?
Right. Another brilliant question. We don't at Crafter's Companion yet, and I'm not saying that as I know something that's coming up, I genuinely don't. At the moment, we don't have an ink pad that works straight onto like of your vellum and your acetate, like a quick dry. I say quick dry, a stays on ink pad. We don't have one in our range. Now, the way to work around that is if you're wanting to use your stamps onto vellums or acetate, what you're going to do is you're going to be using, what I would be doing is I would be using my black pigment ink pad, and then I would be doing my embossing. So onto acetate and vellum, ink with my pigment black, sprinkle with my embossing, heat set it, and then that is how you're going to be able to stamp onto vellum and acetate without it smudging or smearing.
Lovely. Right, last two questions for you. What's the best ink to use when you use the heat and mould stamping foam?
Read that one out again.
What's the best ink to use when you use the heat and mould stamping foam?
Heat and mould stamping foam. Perfect one to be using, water reactive, in my opinion. But this is another one where what you can do is you could be using any of the ink pads that we've got within our range. Me personally, I will tend to steer away again from the quick dry. Other than that, your water reactive, your duets, your shimmer ink pads, all of these you're going to be able to use to get that impression with the moulded pads.
And final question, Kim's asked, what's the best pads to own? I've got, for me, what's the first time crafting, what's the best pads to own? What would you get first?
First time, first pads to have, in my opinion, water reactive.
Water reactive.
Water reactive, because at the end of the day, you can colour with them, you can blend with them, you can bleach with them, you can stamp with them, you can heat emboss with them as well, you can letterpress with them. For me, that is my ones. I believe Debbie Robinson would maybe say something like the Duet. Debbie Fisher loves her absolute pigment ink pads. For me, it's the water reactive.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Craft Clinic is now closed. Craig, you may lie down after that.
Whew. Thank you very much.
Listen, we've got a winner because it's so simple. All you have to do is comment Imani Stackhouse on YouTube. You've won yourself some vouchers. Big round of applause for Imani, everybody. All you got to do is email us at CTV Prizes and we will get those vouchers to you. Here it comes. We'll show you that in maybe later on. Who knows? We'll show you later on. Judy said, this is the kind of show I love the best. We learn so much how to use what we have, and I think that is what is so important. Thanks, Craig, for great answers. You are welcome. We'll take a short break to see you back here for our Saturday Sizzler deals.
What I love most about Crafters TV is the community. I feel like I'm crafting along with my friends. And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials. Be it on CTV, Facebook, or YouTube, everyone is so supportive and I've learned so much. Most of all is the good times and lots of laughs, which have gotten me through some tough days. So lots of love, my crafty friends, and to the CC team. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Welcome back to Crafters TV. It is Make It Saturday. So much coming up for you. Fantastic first hour. Like we said, the wonderful Imani had won them vouchers before the break for just commenting in. It is as simple as that. If you want to win some vouchers, just get involved. Jan is on the socials. Loads of you getting in touch already today. And listen, it's now time for your Saturday Sizzler deals. Yes, every Saturday we bring you some 5 fantastic deals alongside a goodie bag, alongside everything else. And remember as well, alongside these Saturday Sizzler deals, you can even get more money off because you got your fantastic spend 30, you save 5, spend 50, you save 10. Just remember to put those codes in at the checkout. You'll see them on the website. I'll remind you, here they are. There they are for you. 5 off with 30 with the code spend save 5, and £10 off or $10 off with the 50 code spend save 10. So everything you're seeing today, if you know you're going to spend a bit more, take those extra prices off. And remember, that is multiple use today. Right, first of all, the metallic paint, put my teeth back in, the metallic paint collection is today in your Saturday Sizzlers. 4 sets, you're buying 2, you're getting 2 for free at £19.98. $25.98, remember your platinum price, at £15.98, $20.76. First off, starting off here with the fantastic champagne. Now remember, within each set, you're getting those 3 different nibs. You get that wonderful bullet nib, that chisel, and that fine as well. So you're getting the champagne within there. You're also going to be getting the autumn bronze. So you're paying for those 2. The other 2 sets you are getting absolutely free. You've got the rose gold, and you're also getting the blush. That is also in there for you as well. So all 4 of these stay for you at £19.98, $25.98. Club Inspire price is £15.98, $20.78. Remember, if you're spending over that threshold today, take an extra £5 off that. That is an incredible price for some brilliant collections as well. Right, Craig, starting off with the paint markers, you've got storage for us over there.
I do, I've got the pack and pop, but not only is it one of the pack and pop, it's 2 of them. So what you're seeing right here, you're going to get 2 of them for $17.99 or $21.95. However, if you are platinum, you're going to be $14.39 or $17.56. If you can, I would go for a few of these, take advantage of the buy more, save more. But with these ones, what they've got, they look like one specific thing, one specific style. You've got the zip over the top, but then what you've got is these little tabs at the side here. Pull these down. Now, as you say, you don't get the contents. What you do get is the foam that's in there. Now, when it comes to the foam that's in there, it is all chopped up for you, But then what you're going to do is, I know it's always hard to see when it comes to the black, but what you're going to do is you're going to go in and then you're going to take out kind of like a chunk. And then what this is going to do, George, is enable you to then come along and then slot all your tools in there, wherever and however you want. And then all we're going to do is we're just then going to lift this one back up. So you're going to go in with the two sides here, just pulling that one up, closing that back with the zip. And then, of course, you know that they're nice, they're safe, they're staying clean inside. Wipeable material, it's totally Tiffany. You know that it's always going to be incredibly strong here, but within that set you're getting 2 of these for you to then use. The actual foam in the bottom, it does come out completely, so if you want to use these in another way, in another form, absolutely do that. But $14.39 for 2 of them, remember, it's 2 of them that you're getting, $17.56, and then I would add more if you can. Take advantage of that. Buy more, save more.
Absolutely, buy one, get one free on that for you today. Love is in the air, did you know? It's a fantastic collection and a 40% saving for you on this day. Crazy, we'll be demonstrating with this very, very soon. However, let's take a closer look at this collection for you today. Remember, it's coming in. Nicola, why do you like get me like excited about thing and then bam, you hit me with that? His other deal's gone, has it already? Oh my goodness, so we can get another demo a little bit early. Okay, you spoiled me, Nicola. The Living in the Air collection. So let's start off with the 6x6 paper pad. Again, double-sided foot, not double-sided, I lied, sorry. Let me just open this for you. I've been practicing with flicking. There it is. Ooh. Ooh. It's a slow flick. I'll get there. There it is. Ooh, tease. All of this in here for you as well. Remember, 6x6, you're getting this paper pad. I think it's 180 GSM. I am correct, 180 GSM for you. And as well, within this, you're getting these wonderful dies. The I Love is in the air always and forever. That's in there for you as well. Some fantastic dies, and they've got embossing features within this as well. The Love from Cupid, you can just see the little embossing features, especially on the wings. Great little details there. With Love, that's it, a stamp and die as well, so you're getting the wonderful stamp on that as well. These wonderful love letters, again, some great little embossing features. You can see it there on the crease of the envelope. That's coming in for you as well. Fantastic embossing folder, lots of love. I mean, that alone is just, if you want to make cards, that's a perfect card just by itself. Then you've got this fantastic hot air balloon, the die is in there for you as well. And as always, with the great collection, you've got some fantastic sentiments. Dear love, they're all in there with you as well. Our lives, adventure, our stories so far, kiss and huggers. Huggers? Kiss, hugs and kisses. When I followed my heart, it led me to you. Oh. Oh. £30, $40, Club Inspire price, £24, $32. If you've only got, you know, very basic on our Club Inspire membership system, £30, you remember, put that code in, it's 25. Or $40, it's 35. So if you haven't got any Club Inspire status, I mean, look at that. That is incredible for you today. Some brilliant savings. 40% off. Love is in the air. The fantastic collection. Now, Craig, I've not seen this. I mean, there's a lot of collections I haven't seen before in the last few years. So with this, perfect Valentine's Day, perfect for weddings. What are you making for us now?
Let's just have a little bit of a play. I've been inspired by our Nicole Brederick, who does so many phenomenal cards.
Yeah.
So I've been inspired by this. We'll have a little bit of a play here. But going on exactly what you said there a moment ago, George, this collection was initially launched for Valentine's. But of course, even if you see Valentine's in the title, or if you see love and you think of Valentine's, it's great for all year round. Love for birthdays, love for weddings, love for anniversaries, love for all your celebrations, not just, of course, for Valentine's. So let's go in with the hot air balloon here. So we're going to go in, and off the top of my head, I am sure all of these work in the Gemini Mini.
Perfect.
Size-wise. So that's always good to know as well. So I've started to go in with a couple of layers here. Pattern paper, 3.5 by 5.5, and just give myself a little matting layer just there. And then if we go in with the balloons here, so we've got the heart. We've got, which is actually the bottom of a hot air balloon.
Oh yes, a basket.
But it could actually be the top of a champagne bottle if you wanted it to be, or a shuttlecock, as you can see.
Or UFO, yeah.
Or a jellyfish, maybe. You can see a jellyfish in there.
Or jelly on a stand.
Or yeah, could be that as well. Could be.
I don't know.
So always look at your dies and see how else you could use them. All right, let's go.
Details there on the bottom of your screen, by the way, about your Gemini mini machine. You're getting the storage bag absolutely free. I think that's around a 30% saving fee today, or even more. Usual price is $42.98, $66.94. Today's price, look at that, $29.99. $49.99. Nicola, I will confess, I read it on the piece of paper. That tells me the price of the savings on it today. I mean, it's a great price for the Gemini Mini. And like you said, it's such a versatile machine. If you're, and the days are getting longer, I see a lot of caravans on the road today, holding me up so I can overtake them. It's fine, I'll let you guys off. But perfect take if you're going on little caravan holidays.
Definitely.
Power, camping doesn't take much room up. Jackie's asked on Facebook, Craig, do you ever look at one of the makes and think, my goodness, look how pretty that is I made? Does that still happen to you? Do you still get like an overwhelming feeling of, oh goodness, that's really nice that I've made?
That I've made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I am. Suppose we all are our own worst critique, and I certainly am. But yeah, when I look at something that I made and think, oh my gosh, I'm really, really proud and pleased with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It still happens.
Also, Craig, are you doing any stamping in this make?
I can do if you like.
Just because I have a question from Crafting Queen on YouTube. Please could Craig demo how best to use the narrow, long rocker block, if possible, or any of the rocker blocks so the stamp doesn't move the image or smudge?
Yes, let's do that in a minute then.
Perfect.
We shall do that.
Remember that rocker block collection is coming in your Make It Saturday goodie bag today, so if you haven't got your hands on those, tell me today's the day to get your Make It Saturday goodie bag.
Yes, so as I say, I'm looking and replicating Nicole's to a certain point, but what we will do is, because of course it's got a sentiment, we will use that, and actually it'll probably be fine with the elongated one that you were asking for, so we shall do that in a moment here. So the reason I like one, it's just really pretty what Nicole's made anyway, but it's a great way to show the love heart within this design is actually the hot air balloon, so it's a good way to show it. Also, one of my biggest tips here is we've got all this embossed detail in the die. Now, with your Gemini Mini, you don't have an embossing mat. So what you can do now is you could go across to your G2, run it through with the embossing mat, and then that way it'll emboss all that detail. But then that's double work. You're cutting with that, you're going to your G2, and then to be fair, it's only a tiny little bit. So take your scoring tool, George, your ball tool, and just fill it in yourself on the back. Because all that you're doing is you're just taking away that embossing mat and you're just putting that pressure, you're still putting the pressure in, the only difference is you're just doing it yourself by pushing it through.
Wow, I didn't realise you could do that.
So we can do that. Yep, we can do that. Sometimes, even if it's a die that's got big embossed detail, just to save me from actually going in, and it'll show off better in the gold in a moment.
Yeah.
But instead of going through the rigmarole of getting your embossing mat for something that's maybe just a little section, just go in with your own ball tool.
That's not a word I've heard in a very long time.
Ball tool?
No, rigmarole.
Rigmarole.
It just came out of nowhere and it just made me chuckle. I've not heard that word in a long time.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a big rigmarole just to end up embossing it.
What colour's that card that you've cut out?
Gold satin.
And that one before it?
Craft.
Oh, it's not mink. Okay.
No, it's not the mink. It's not the mink.
Boo.
Now, if I show you that, so this is it. Now, with the power of all our Geminis, you will always get that little bit of emboss. But if I pop that back in, and then let's just turn that one around, and let's have a look. So I know the embossed details down in there. So let's go in, just something with a small ball tool. You could use the back of your tweezers as well if you want to.
Yeah.
But all that I'm doing, George, is I'm just pushing all of that detail. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just colouring. I'm colouring in the back with my ball tool, and that is going to push all of that debossed detail through.
Which is embossing in the simplest form.
It is, which makes it stand out even more because we've just done it ourselves. So we've got that one which will layer up here, and then let's do a few more cuts before we show you how to do the stamping. So let's go in with this one. So what I'm going to do within this one is this love die, it actually cuts into your card. Now I want to then paper piece back in. If I cut through that, it's of course going to cut through the pattern and the craft. So I'm going to take that love die and I'm going to pop it in, and I'm going to use tape just to tack down. So I'm going to go in and just kind of make that parallel and symmetrical the best that I can. Go on, I noticed earlier on when Sam was flicking through the website and you were having a read through, George,
yes.
I noticed there was low tack tape, there was foam on a roll, there was your glue applicators in the website. These are the ones you definitely want to stock up on when it comes to those buy more, save more. But you need one of these right now. Well, if you're using one, maybe not, but you always need spare. You always need them down the line. You always need your foam pads.
Yeah.
So this is, have a look and stock up. Money's better in your pocket, to be fair.
Exactly, mate.
I know, obviously, they pay my wages, but let's be fair. When it comes to crafty goodies, you want to take advantage and make sure that you get the most out of the deals.
Oh, massively, absolutely. And remember, it's a brilliant saving. Like if you look at this price now, you just buy this today by using that Save More 5, spare the code. That's 5. You will get this for thank you. Spend Save 5. There it is. You will get this for £25, $35. If you buy nothing else today, you're going to be getting that. If you are platinum, so in the UK, you may have to spend £6 more, but stateside, you will be getting that $5 off. That makes it $27 on your Club Inspire Platinum price. I mean, that's a bargain for a full collection, which includes paper pad, stamps, dies, and embossing fodders. What?
Oh.
Okay. So,
We've had a casualty.
Right. We've lost the deal because you guys, we've sold out. We've sold out of the deal. You saw a good deal, you went online and you went, you know what? Craig is right, the money's better in our pocket. Love is in the Air collection has sold out, but this is a beautiful demonstration and we're not just going to stop halfway through it. We're not animals, we're not savages. Can you imagine? That's it. Just stop there, Craig.
Stop
Done
the
now.
demo.
Thanks, mate.
There was a time some channels would do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Not here. We're all
Not
about
here,
fun.
no. This is going back a good few years in early shopping TV. If something sold out, you had to come away from it. But when it comes to craft, we'll have that little bit of flexibility and being able to finish. You know, I always laughed at that, George, because it was like, right, it's sold out, let's move on. It's like, yeah, but what about those that have just bought it?
Yes,
that want
exactly.
to see how to use it. So yeah, we'll still always, something sells out, we will still finish off making. Let's press that one in. So paper paste, cut that love in the gold and then paper paste it back into place. So I'm going to do my drop shadow with the actual base of our hot air balloon. And I'm going to do it so that the craft is on the front and then the gold is on the back. And then I'll do one other cut and then we'll bring in the stamp and use the rocker block.
Yes, for the wonderful crafting queen.
There. Let's press that down, like so. And then let's go in, where have I put my die set? Here it is. So if we go in with this one, have we got enough room? It's not as if I've got a full sheet here that I could be using, but as a crafter, we always try and get the most out of that bit of card that we're using. And actually, I'm being quite good, because usually when it comes to the studio set, I don't really care.
But today, mate, you're being really all conscious.
If I'm at home, it's like, oh, I will get that die into that little bit of cardstock. I'm not wasting it. Can't even say it's Tracy's now, it's Jake's.
I know.
Let's go.
Miss Tracy. And a beautiful smile.
You've seen her smile?
Rare. As rare as what it was.
Do you know?
I do miss some cups of tea. I'm not saying
I think I've seen her smile more since she's moved next door than she ever did when she was through here.
My favourite bit is when she came on camera. She hated it. And I had so much pleasure in that.
Oh,
not really.
Did I seen her the other day? Gave her a hug. Yeah, she's not gone completely. She's still next door.
Yeah. What did she say? Did she say hello to you when she saw you?
She said, "Get away, you mink." There we go. So let's lift that one up. So we've got the bunting. And you could go in with your gems if you want to, or maybe your glitter glues if you want to. And then what I'm going to do is stick that one onto
You could paper piece it, couldn't you, Craig?
Sorry?
You could paper piece it. Was that the right technique?
That?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I paper piece the love.
Yes.
But yeah, you could do. You could then use that die again and cut it into another colour card, and then all the bits that come out as waste, you could paper piece back in. Absolutely, you could.
I said it really confidently, then you went, what? I was like, oh no, maybe you can't paper piece it. Maybe I got carried away.
No, definitely you could do. Absolutely. And then if I were to just sit that into the side, it gives you an idea of how Nicole worked through her steps within our cards. Just going around the edges with a little bit of one of your ink pads, your water reactive ink pads that you can see. But if I take that one out the way, and then let's go in. So if we go in with that stamp set, I'm just going to look at the side here.
Yeah.
Was it that one?
I presume, she said the narrow, long rocker block.
So it must be...
That must be the long, narrow rocker block.
So when it comes to your rocker blocks, what I would say is, although obviously this is good for your long sentiments, if you feel more comfortable using your smaller elongated sentiments on a large rocker block, you can absolutely do that. It's just that they've been sized to work with specific size stamps. But you have got full flexibility and you use them whichever rocker block that you want. Whether you use the elongated one, the large one, whether you use this one or any other ones, they all work in the exact same way, George. So, because it was this one that you were asking, let's go in with a stamp that will at least fit. So let's go in with Wedding Day. Now, anyone that's new to rocker blocks, you can use these with any branded stamps. Doesn't just have to be ours. Of course, if you've got the thick red rubber ones, it's a little bit different. But when it comes to your clear stamps or your grey stamps, what you can do is at the side here and here, you'll see that you've got, so if I go there, and there, you see you've got like two little raised edges, two little lips. That actually counterbalances the height of your stamp there. So what that then means, if I bring in a piece of card, let's bring in a bit of card here. Now what you need to, or the only thing that you need to watch for, George, is you need to make sure that you've got no ink on those edges, as that will then transfer through. So I'm going to do that to show you. So you're going to ink up your stamp. Now, say I got my ink round there. Does not matter, that won't transfer through. So what we're going to do is we're then going to go at roughly like a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to come face on so as you can see. And then all that we're going to do is essentially we're going to rock. So we're going to rock and we get that perfect impression.
Simple.
So none of that ink is then transferred through. The only bit you need to watch for, as I was saying a moment ago, let's ink up again. If you get ink on those raised edges, wipe it clean. Because if you don't, what will happen is if you then rock, it's going to then be transferred over.
Right, I see.
So do not worry about any excess ink surrounding the stamp. The only bit you need to worry about is the edges. Make sure it's wiped clear and you're going to get the perfect impression by rocking, and that same form works for every single size of the rocker blocks.
Hope that helps you, Crafting Queen on YouTube. Hope that helps.
Yes,
Yeah,
hopefully
actually,
it
Craig,
does.
so you know that I know the lines that you put on the edge there, I know that wasn't intentional. Couldn't you use them as a guide for cutting? Would that work, maybe?
You could do. And the thing is as well, George, is the chances are, with something like this, you're probably not going to use that full width there.
Yes.
So you can just be chopping it down and then get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's just if you were wanting to use that on a larger scale, then of course you've got those little bit of excess ink onto the edges there.
Perfect.
So that's how you could use it. And then other than that sentiment, you can then come along and add your own sentiment. Nicole's put a little bit of pink matting and layering just round the side. She's used Our Life's Adventure just to work its way in there but I'm not going to finish it as such. It's showing you the steps as to how, and you've got options. You could add additional mats and layers. You could go with your golds, add your silvers if you want. You could then upscale that so it's onto like a larger 5x7. You could turn it into a square or that. So what I would always say is when you're looking through the samples, a lot of people that watch us on a daily basis, just like us, we know Nicole's cards. We've got incredible design teams that do incredible cards. A lot of you guys know Nicole's cards, and I would always say if there's any, to take inspiration from them all, but if there's any that are a good way to visually look at and follow and change and manipulate, it would be Nicole's to do that, and that's sort of the thing that you could do.
Absolutely. That's using that Love in the Air collection. Unfortunately, it has sold out, but I tell you what hasn't sold out is the Make It Saturday Goodie Bag, which today does include the rocker blocks. They are in there. So if you are looking about getting your rocker blocks, they are today within your Make It Saturday Goodie Bag, price at £35, $45. Club Inspired price is £28, $36. Remember, you spend, say, £5, you'll be getting more discounts on that today. So actually, you'll be paying a lot less for that, for everything you're about to see. So the rocker blocks, they're included in that, including all the different sizes and that long elongated, the big one, that's in there for you. You're also going to be getting in there 2 12x12 paper pads, starting off first of all with the vintage scrapbook. That's in there for you as well. And of course, that fantastic circus one, which we used earlier in our fantastic On the Hoof crafting. That is in there, where we made this fantastic card, which is in the bag of dreams, which is moving further and further away to the edge of the area. We made that today from our fantastic Make It Saturday Goodie Bag with our fantastic fromage. What's it called again, Craig?
Enapage.
What card?
Enapage.
Enapage. Enapage?
Enapage.
Enapage. Oh yeah, I speak multiple languages. That's what we made today with your Make It Saturday Goodie Bag. We also used the fantastic sparkle pens. They were also used today. Remember, 3 fantastic colours: rose quartz, soft jade, and also your moonstone. That's in there. And we also used as well your Centura Pearl Darks. Now, some great shades in here. You're getting that wonderful purple that you see there. You're also going to be getting that wonderful... Sorry, Sam, get this in a good angle so you can see it, mate. That's also... I've ripped the paper. That's in there for you as well. Then you're also going to be getting the wonderful blue, the wonderful black, again, a shiny black, and a wonderful grey silver for you as well. I'll chuck that there. That's all in there for you. I'm not going to put that back in the bag, otherwise it's going to go all over. Now, as well, not only are you getting stamps and dies, you're getting tools as well. Your fantastic precision tweezers, 4 sets of tweezers within there. You've got the flat end tip, the straight point tip, the angle point, and the needle point. All with their uses, all with their different qualities. They're coming in there for you as well. Going from that to this incredible stencils. 3 stencils for you there. Look at the size of these stencils, 8 by 5 inches. That's in there for you. That's just the biggest stencil within there. Plus you've got a nice maple leaf, which you can see in this top corner just there. In fact, I'll show you the back as well. You can see the 3 stencils that you're getting within this set. Also, embossing folders, they are in there for you as well. Now again, this is a huge embossing folder, 6 by 4 inches. That is coming for you today with the fantastic, beautiful butterflies. Again, that is a card within itself. You can emboss it, deboss it, you can colour it in and make a simple card from that with a great bit of effort as well. Also, stamps and dies for you, the Majestic Unicorn. Be unique, be unique, be unique, be you. Again, that's in there. When it rains, look for rainbows, sending sunshine and rainbows. You brighten my cloudy days. Plus that wonderful rain stamp as well. So many different uses. 3 fantastic dies and stamps as well, which I can get out the bottom of the bag. Also, that's in there for you as well. You're a Star, that wonderful edgeable stamp as well. Cake Heaven die set. Arabian Nights, fantastic die, and there's one more as well, the Pretty Lace. That's in there for you as well. £35, $45. So much within that collection today. It is your Make It Saturday Goodie Bag. Every Saturday we bring you a new goodie bag. So listen, once it's gone, it has gone. Don't sit around and wait for that today, because once it has gone, it has gone. It might say, I love the rocker blocks, make stamping on canvas so easy. Never thought about that. That is in your Make It Saturday Goodie Bag. Now, Many of you will know that Sarah loves a bit of social media and she's been posting some fantastic crafting ideas on there for you throughout the last couple of weeks. Let's take a little look at what Sarah's been up to this week. Of course, Sarah there crafting for us. As always, remember, Craft with Sarah was on yesterday, was it, Nicola? Yesterday? Yeah, you can catch it with Sarah. Have a look on YouTube. It's all there for you. A couple of quick questions coming in. Karen on Facebook, back to my inks. Does the colour fade when using the ink from the aquatints or from ink pads after transferring to cardstock?
So it depends on how much you're diluting it.
Right.
So like if you're going to do your water backdrops or that, then of course that can dilute it. That can change the shades. If you're going direct or that, no.
Shouldn't. And Evelyn's asking, I struggle with the colour bloom ink pads. They don't seem to bloom as much as I think they should. I'm sure it's operator error.
I'm sure that it's not. What I want to stress about the colour bloom, a lot of people, the intention of the colour blooms aren't for them to go down purple and to change a bright yellow or bright orange. It's just about, some of them will have the shade that'll change, some will change quite subtler than the other ones. So it's not as if it's going from one colour to a complete different contrast colour. It's just about the shade, it'll change slightly. So I'm going to be firm and say it's probably not even user error. I just think it's, don't expect to be like a massive change of colour.
Yes, I get you.
It's just that little bit of a subtler change of shade or tone.
Perfect. Now, Make It Saturday is the home of Demo of the Week, and we've had a brilliant team this week, mainly Craig. So, Craig, we've got two demos that are here on the table.
Oh, is that why they were there?
That's why they're there. So, we're going to let you guys vote. Remember, all you got to do is tell us which one you think should be Demo of the Week. So, Craig, what are your two demos that are up for Demo of the Week this week?
So we have got our in-flight creative card dies. We were done a little bit of a wash when it comes to our Moonbeam ink pads. adapted it slightly by using an essence dye into the middle there. And then on this one here, what we used is we used our animal outline dyes. I then used our, well, you could use your mascot sheets, you can use mascot rolls, you can use post-it notes, whatever it is, just very quickly cut a circle and then inked all the way around it with my water reactive ink, and then kept it really, really simple with that silhouette of the wolf.
Perfect. So that's number. Which one are we going to put for number one?
Oh, sorry, I've just explained both of them.
Yeah, that's right. Which one's number one?
So, number one with the in-flight, number two with the silhouette animal.
Perfect. It's up to you guys to vote. So, comment below, and the wonderful Jan will tot up the scores, and we'll be watching that fantastic demo in a few short moments. While waiting for that to come in, Craig, well, I've been gone for a few years. So, I asked Debbie this question. In the time that I've been gone, there's been a number of new releases, new launches. What's a launch or a release that stands out for your new personal favourite? Because there's been loads and loads of launches, loads and loads of releases. What's been your favourite launch since I've been gone?
Since you've been gone? I would probably say, and it's still maybe a little bit over a year ago or something like that, but Vintage Rose.
Vintage Rose. I've not seen anything from the Vintage Rose yet.
It's where my favourite stamp comes from.
Really?
So in that time scale that you've not been here, I would say Vintage Rose.
And what? So the beautiful stamp. Is there anything else?
The stamp's one of them, but no, I just love the papers, I love the dyes, the flower forming that came with it. I loved all the additional elements that came with it. I just loved it as a whole. I loved that rose feel, but more of that rustic kind of feel to it as well.
I get you. Yeah, because Debbie, I can't remember what Debbie said now. What was her favourite?
Wild at Heart?
Maybe Wild at Heart. I think the Vintage Vegas was in there as well. She had a few, she couldn't decide. Now, before that, we've seen Sarah's Crafty Reels, Craft with Sarah. Hadassah said, I've always wanted to try resin, really appreciate the kits of different types of crafts from the Craft with Sarah show yesterday. And we were saying in the break, what you would like to try candle making.
The candle making,
because you like candles.
Yeah, since I've done my living room, I've not really been burning candles anymore. I've still got a lot of the Yankee Candle, like the American exclusives and that. I've still got them. Still burn all the wax melts. Yeah. But yeah, no, I would love to. I've dabbled into cheap candle making.
Yes,
over the years, but really good, because I was looking at it's still all out there, and I was looking at it all. The quality really is exceptional, which you would expect, of course. So yeah, I'd like to do the resin, but I think out of them all, I would love to get my hands on the candle making and maybe do that in a future show.
And what scent would you make it?
See, I'm one of those that I love the fruity, I love the fresh, I love the sweet. I like all of those. I'm not too good with, in general, like grapefruit, and it's quite bitter.
Okay, yeah,
I'm not good in that way, but probably, maybe actually a floral camin fragrance.
See, I'd go for like an oud-y smell, very oud. Arabic smelling. Yeah. What's the myrrhs are usually in there as well?
Frankincense.
Frankincense is sometimes in there.
Yankee Candle done a range a good couple of years ago with those three.
Well, I can't find a good smelling candle. That's the smell that I want. Now listen, I know what I'm going to look for.
Yeah. They don't have that range in controversial, because I know everyone will be like, you only ever shouted about Yankee Candle, and they still do. But Bath and Body Works.
There's one near me. I'll be going there.
They don't really have what you've just been alluding to, but I'm telling you, as well as Yankee, I am a convert of Bath and Body Works.
I like it. If you go to the shopping centres, you know there's the guys in the middle, and they've usually got the bottles of oud or the really, they've got some great fragrances. Like the diffusers, you know, the re-diffuser are always good. So Karen's, I've got a demo of the week, before we get to that, Karen's asked a really great question. Craig, what is your all-time favourite collection?
Oh, gosh. Now, there's a good question.
I'll tell you what, we'll find out what demo of the week is. We'll answer that after we've watched it back. So, Craig, we had your demos. It is demo of the week number 1. The Taking Flight, the butterfly. Very, very close indeed. We're going to see this demonstration very, very shortly with the wonderful Craig, watching back from the week. But don't go anywhere, because after the fantastic demo of the week, we've got another live demo for you in the studio. Because what happens is people start going, listen, what a great show, loved it. I'm like, no, there's still more to come. So don't go anywhere. We're going to check out Craig's demo from Demo of the Week, and we'll see you back in here after that.
There's many things you could use with this die set, and one of which, Moonbeam, or even the Sunbeam if you want to, but I'm going to use the Moonbeam because these work beautifully when it comes to black cardstock. So what we're going to do to start with, let's do our background. Gives it that little bit of time to dry. Our black card 5x7. So let's also go in with some water and a paintbrush, which I've got to the side of me here. And then we've got a gorgeous array of colours that you can pick from. So let's go in with the forest here. And because I'm only using maybe about 3 or 4 colours, or probably 4 colours, I'm not going to spritz the whole lot. I'm just going to go in each individual colour, and then I'm going to go over the back of my black cardstock with each individual colour. Now you do need to let it dry, but even when it's wet, so that's just that wet shine that you're getting. So let's leave that to dry a little bit longer. And then we're going to go in with probably, let's go in with the Cosmic. So I'm just going to, all that I'm doing here is I'm just going in with my large paintbrush, my 3/4 paintbrush, and then I can then go back in, and then I'm just going to go into that next section just here. So go back, layer that up, and then we can then go and add some more. Now don't worry about the crossover, we can blend that in just shortly. So we've done the green, we've done the blue. Let's then go in with, maybe let's actually go in with the nebula. So taking some of that excess water off. And again, we want to really start to layer that onto our paintbrush here. We want to have a little bit of a thicker consistency. And then we can go back into the next section, and then we're just going to then go back and forth, intensify that little bit more, back in once again, really make that strong. And I know at the moment it's not looking too much. If I tilt it, you can just see as that's drying, you're starting to get that sun, that moonbeam just bouncing through. So let's go in with our final colour. So let's go in with the autumn. So let's go in, and then we're going to do exactly what we were doing before, and that is just go back and forth, really start to get that lathered up on the paintbrush, down into the bottom here, and then I'm just going to go back once again, get rid of some of that water. Don't worry if you've got water remaining in the little sections, just close the lid, let it dry, and then it will dry absolutely solid, and then you just reactivate it again with water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take as much of that water off my paintbrush as I can, and then just very lightly and very roughly, just in each section where I've kind of joined over, I'm just going to kind of blend into each other. And that is pretty much it for my backdrop. So what I'll do is I'll let that dry properly and fully before I actually show you that end result. So as that's dried, now of course you can heat set it if you want, and we might give it a little blast of heat just shortly, but we've got a few things that we could be doing first. So let's do that, and then we can give that a little bit time to dry. Now that black cardstock is 5x7, as I was saying. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of white cardstock, and that is 5¼ by 7¼ and then I've given it a little matting layer onto black card, and then I've done a 10-fold card, which is 5¾ by 8 inches. So it's a good, nice size card that we're making here. And then let's go in with the Admiral Butterfly.
Amazing.
So if we go in with the Admiral Butterfly, I've got some black card, and then I've got some white card stock. Now, if you are not familiar with these are what we would class as creative card dies. If you use just the detail die on its own, Ben, that means that will cut into this whole sized piece of card. Now, if you add the outside die, that is what's going to then release it out of the card stock. So I'm actually, in this occasion, going to be using that outer die. Now, what I mean by that is usually, or very rarely will I use the outside die of a creative card. I usually cut my card to the size I want, then I die cut that detailed die. But actually the framework size that I want is actually the size that this gives you. So we're going to align that one up, taking our low tack tape, and then let's go in, and we're going to centralise that the best that we can. Tape that one down, and then we're going to go in with our plates. So we're going to go base plate, we're going to go frosted, magnetic, and then top plate. Line that one up, and then we're just going to then feed that one through. Now with this one here, it'll go through your G2, your original, Gemini, it's going to go through your Junior. We'll also go through your MIDI as well. You need to hand crank it, but it will work with the MIDI. And if you are using any other branded die cut machines, it'll work as well, no problem. You'll just need to check the plate configuration. So if we take that one away and take that one out, what we've then got is the most gorgeous Admiral butterfly.
Wow.
With that fine detail, all die cut, it's all beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The attention to detail within all 4 sets of the dies are phenomenal. But I mean, just even look at that.
That's
just
incredible.
Pure
even
white.
just in white, yeah.
Pure white onto a black card blank. Looks epic. So we're going to clean this die because we're going to do that once again in that other bit of black cardstock that we've got. So either take your die release tool, or if you do tap it on the side like I do, just make sure you're doing it on the back of the die, not on the front, because you don't want to damage that. So let's repeat that step. Go in with the detail, go in with that outer die, and then we're going to tape that one. Let's align this up here. And referring back to what you were saying before, Ben, this is absolutely spot on for things such as your illusion film, or your vellums, or you could then do paper piecing. There's so many ways and so many kind of techniques that you can use with these. And what we're actually going to do is the end result of the Admiral butterfly, we're going to change it slightly. Now, it's not a new style that I'm doing here today. I've done it probably when it first launched, and you guys that did see it absolutely loved it. So I thought it's been a while since we've looked at this technique, so I'm going to do it again within this show here, and it'll become apparent just shortly. So let's take that out, and as we were saying, in just white looks epic, but even in just black, it looks epic as well.
Just classy, isn't it?
It is classy, isn't it? That's exactly what it's like. It is so, so classy. So that could be straight onto a card blank.
Job done.
Or this, when I say onto a card blank, this could be straight into a card blank. If you used just that die on its own, Ben, that could literally be straight through into a card blank, and then that's it done with a sentiment. But as I say, we are going to do our drop shadow. So let's go in, do our drop shadow. So I'm going to go round with my tape runner that is our dots. This is the sort of die that the dotty tape runner was made for.
Is this the easiest solution with the glues, or are you doing this for time, or is this what you would use?
So I'm doing this for time. I would say as a whole, yes, this is probably the easiest form of adhesive for these. However, at home, when I've got more time, I will still always use my tacky glue.
Okay.
I would use my tacky glue, but even although I would use my tacky glue, I'm still confident in saying your dotty tape runner is probably the easiest for them, and also the quicker for them. Because as you can see, I'm just able to go all the way over the back of the whole lot. Whereas if I was at home, and although I've got more time, what I have to do is just roughly is go over each section. And I always say what I do is I sketch. Now what I mean by that is I won't go over every single bit, Ben. I'll just roughly sketch across. And as you apply the pressure, the glue spreads out. So it's not as if I'm doing every single lined section, but yeah, if you're wanting it for actually ease and quickness, the dotty tape runner is definitely the best. And then let's align this one up. So I've got my drop shadow with the black just popping out the side here. Perfect. So at the moment you can just see it, but as soon as I do that, get that black just popping out the side there. It looks epic. Absolutely super, super cool. So let's press that down. So I'm going to press that down, and then for this is another one of those techniques where our small foam pad strips are going to come in really handy.
And which pack do we find those in again?
small foam pad.
So it's the small foam pads.
You get these strips, yes, you do. I'm not doing a shaker though. You know, usually I would do these for a shaker, but it also goes to show that these foam pad strips, you don't have to always use for shakers. They're good for like these framed creator card dies, that if you're just wanting that long strip of foam pads. You know, I like my good old traditional 5mm by 5mm foam pads. Not everyone does, so therefore these strips are going to come in handy. Plus, it means you're going to be able to level it out on these little sections where you've got the solid backing.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go into here, and you can twist and turn them. And all that I'm wanting to do is create a little bit of stability. That's all that it is. So I'm only going in little sections that I know aren't going to be seen, and it's just creating that bit of stability. So if I come into there, and then if I come into there, and then let's just go into there, and then this last little bit, let's just go down into there, and then I'm quite comfortable in knowing that we've got good stability there, just to hold it all in place. Going to take them off, and this is one of those, there's no right or wrong way. What I would say is all these little bits of foam pad, please take them off.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. Some people out there will say it's just there.
Because
Leave
it's
it
there
on.
just to give you the sort of a balance,
Stability,
isn't it? Yeah.
that's it. But what you need to keep in mind as well is over time, your card can, even sitting on the mantelpiece or whether it's on the table, it can start to buckle upwards.
Yeah.
So therefore, take the backing off. You know it's going to be secure. It's not going to buckle over time. You've got that good, strong adhesive. And yes, it is there to create stability, but it's a foam pad, so take the backing off. Just as well doing that at the same time. So then that has given me my full Admiral Butterfly. Now there is one thing that I forgot to do, but it's not to worry, I can work around it. What I've got here is I've taken two of my circle nesting dies, plain edge nesting dies. One of them is 2 1/4 and the other one is 2 1/2. And I've just die cut a circle, white cardstock, and I'm going to go with my tacky glue just because I went and picked it up there, although your dotty tape runner would work as well. And then what I'm going to do is you can choose a section. I'm going to go down here. Now I'm being careful because I've already popped my foam pads on. I should have done this before I'd done the foam pads. But I just want to make sure that I've got a really strong adhesion of the glue, holding it in place. And then we'll come back to that in a moment once that's fully tacked.
Yeah.
So let's come back in. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that backdrop. So
That's
that was
amazing.
the moonbeam onto our black card. So if we go face on, you'll see how phenomenal and epic
good.
is that. And that's why we say the moonbeam works really well and showcases really well on black card, the sunbeam on your white card. Although you can use them on either or. Oh, look at that.
That's a shot there, look at
that. So
Wow.
that is going to be our background.
Yeah.
So let's go in with our tape runner. So work our way edge to edge. And because this is, well, essentially we have dampened this cardstock with water, I just want to make sure it's extra secure with my tape. And then that can go right into the middle. Now this could be pattern paper if you want, Ben. This could be block colour cardstock if you want. But it's a nice way to bring in your palettes and your ink pads. But even just straight onto a card blank, look at that, really, really smart. And then we're going to go back in here. Now what we're then going to do is let's snip all the way around. So we're going to work our way around that inner section of that die cut circle. So we're just following it all the way around, and it's a good way to change the look of your die cuts. You don't always have to use them the exact way that they come out. Once you've die cut, change it.
Yeah.
Bring in your nesting dies, maybe make it smaller or maybe go in with your oval dies and change the actual size of it. You can get really, really creative with them. I'm just following around. I know I'm cutting through a few of the foam pads because, again, ideally do this before you pop your foam pads on.
And I know you just said, but just to reiterate for Trudy, it's Moonbeam you're using, isn't it?
It is Moonbeam, yeah. It is
on
Moonbeam.
smooth black cardstock.
So what I can do here, and I'm doing this just because it's still a little bit damp, ever so slightly it's a little bit damp. So I'm going to go in just with a little bit of tacky glue. If this was pattern paper or dried cardstock, I wouldn't worry about doing this. But just because it's still slightly damp, I'm just going to pop some dots of my tacky glue on the back of my foam pad. And then we can layer that straight over the top here. Let's align that one up. And then I've gone in, I want to say it was Country Garden. I've gone in with Relax and Be Happy. And I've gone in with a smaller circle nesting die. Take my foam pad, and again, just because that back end is still just ever so slightly damp, let's go in here. And then that, we can then pop into there and press that down. So once again, let's give it a really good press down. So we've now got our Admiral Butterfly, where you've got that burst of the moonbeam in the background.
That's sensational.
But what we've also done is we've changed the look and the style ever so slightly. We can still see it's the Admiral Butterfly, but what we've just done is we've enhanced that sentiment in with the wingspan of that Admiral Butterfly, and then we've incorporated the moonbeam.
Ah, what a great demo that was. That was your demo of the week by the fantastic Craig. Now, Craig.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry, deafening if you're wearing earphones. Before that, Karen did ask, what is your all-time favourite collection? You told me before the break.
Yeah, funny, I was saying that to George just when we were talking about it. It actually goes back, I mentioned it the other day when we launched our downloadable paper pads, printable paper pads. There was a poll on the website. Probably going back to our very first Nature Garden collection, and that was the Peony collection. Probably going to say that one, yeah.
There you are, you sit. Sorry, just. Yeah, great. No, I'm doing. Yes, I've been gone. I don't know what I'm doing. That is fantastic. And now we've got time for one more demo as well. But before we do that as well, we've got another prize to give away because we are closely coming to the end of the second hour of Make It Saturday. It's the easiest competition around. All you got to do is comment. And the wonderful Kathleen White on Facebook has won. Kathleen White, you are the winner. E.T. Email ctvprizes@crafterscompany.co.uk to claim your vouchers. It couldn't be simpler. Right, we've got time for one more demo before we wrap up Make It Saturday here on this fine Saturday. And again, with the fantastic ombre ink pad collection. Now, in this collection, you are getting the ombre ink pad. So you're also going to be getting first of all, the light and fresh. That's the first ink pad that you are getting. It's got in here a number of colours. You're getting the pink tulip. Then you're also going to be getting the pale fig, ocean blue, oasis, spring meadow, lemon tonic, honey pot, and sandstorm. You're also going to be getting the rich and luxurious, but enough about me and Craig. You're getting the plum jam, Chinese red, orange, jet black, smoked emerald, lagoon, midnight, and damson wine. 8 colours in that one, 8 colours in this one for you. Plus, as well, if that wasn't enough, you're also getting 100 photograph paper in there as well, measuring for you at 5 by 7 inches. Glossy, 200 GSM, that's all coming in there for you as well. £33.98, $39.90. Club Inspire price is £27.18, $31.92. Now remember as well, that fantastic spend save discount code as well. Add that into your basket. You'll be saving yourself another $5 off that as well. Here it is for you again, £5 off 30 with the code spend save 5, £10 off a code 50 with code spend save 10. So, Craig, ombre ink pads, what are they?
These are a fabulous ink pad to get messy / creative when it comes to that photo paper. And you know what? It dries so incredibly quick with these ones. Let's just show you some samples using a selection of the inks when it comes to dies and stamps here, because you can of course use them, coat them when it comes to your die cuts. What about doing all of that dramatic backdrop for your dies as well? You can have a play, so it's way there into the back. We can then do them through the stencils. But yeah, for these ones, what I love to do is I love to use them for doing my backgrounds. Now, we had a play the other day, and you know what, it's Saturday, so let's play again. Let's go in and let's take the, what ones are these? It's the lighter ones anyway. Oops, light ones that we've got. And I'm just going to start to smear it into my glass mat. So if we go into my glass mat, and then I'm going to come down a little bit further as well. What we can then do is let's go in with the purple or the lilac in there, even cross over. No specific way onto my glass mat. Now, of course, if you don't have a glass mat, it could be a craft mat or a Gemini plate, something like that, or a tile that's really smooth.
Great, just ask before you, obviously we were about inks earlier in our craft clinic. So is this a particular kind of ink, this ombre ink? What ink is it? Is it a quick drying? Is it a waterproof? What is the ink?
So it's water-based.
It's a water-based.
It's water-based, so that means you can do it through your stencils, you can pick up their ink by doing your backdrops. I mean, that one going in with your subtler tones. But if you were to imagine, if I was to bring in, obviously I know this die cut's not this die is not die cut, but can you imagine going in with your browns when it comes to those hills, and you can start to then create that dramatic backdrop. I mean, that one there can be left light, or if we were to, I always like to take away that excess. The only reason because if you go to come back and add more ink, you don't want to pop your ink pad into a pool of water. No. That's just going to then saturate your ink pad. So I'm just going to go back and add just a little bit more, not as much, same two colours as before, just not as much this time. Going to go in and do that again. Might even go in and add a third colour, maybe a little bit actually. Let's go into the deep tones and add a really, really small bit of that deep purple. And then if I spritz that one again into here, so it's just a water or a fine mist spray. Don't worry if you don't have this one, if you've got a little water spritz or an old cleaning spritz, clean it out and then just fill it with water. Whoa.
Oh, amazing, look at that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, really nice.
How smart is that? And you could go, if you wanted to as well, just in with a little bit of water and just manipulate it ever so slightly, just into there and pull that down, just into there. So just manipulate it tiny little bit. Let's go, I've got a little bit of that purple in here. So let's even fill in that section. And then we're just going to then tone that down slightly. So just infill in there. Bit more of the deeper purple, but what I'm doing is I'm just making sure there is no water at that bit. Let's then spritz that one, and then once again let's just layer up and infill. There we go. Love that one. Could just imagine that just being the hills there. That's kind of the walkway that you've got. That's a tree or bush there, and then you can then start to take maybe your own little silhouette dies that you've got at home. It could be your forest, it could be your nature garden backdrop dies if you wanted it to be, flower forming dies, all of those you can start to play with. But then what you can also do is then you can start to, let's do a couple of tones with the greens, and then once we've kind of done what we've done there a moment ago, you can start to rip and tear them, George, and then start to layer them on top of each other if you want to. You've always got that creative play as well. So that's one of the greens. Let's go in with, that one's a deeper green, so let's go in with that one. I'm just going to go in just little sections as well, although we're kind of smooshing it in together, just going in just with the little sections, and then we're just adding it in, maybe even go in with a little bit of blue, because they're water-based as well. Don't worry about like cross-contaminating by going into the ink. If you were to get a little bit of excess ink onto the pad, just onto your glass mat or onto a little bit of cardstock, just then kind of then brush that off.
I was going to ask, do you remember earlier one of the questions was which ink should I get? That was. Would this be your perfect starter, would you say? Because you get a selection of all the different colours of your inks to play with, or is this a very different set of skills that you could use these inks for?
If you are solely wanting to do things such as the water backgrounds like I'm doing here, if you're wanting to go in with that sort of technique, I would go with these ink pads here. I will always stand by what I say, George, and that is, if you want real versatility, go with your water reactives.
Yes.
So, although these are like an ombre, and I know on the back it says water reactive, the more of that ombre that's got that selective technique, although they're versatile in the different techniques, if you're wanting to have a really nice blend, then I would always go back to my actual Harmony water reactive ink pads. These ones are just a joyous one to get that marbled effect when it comes to your water paper. I mean, that one there, just completely different when it comes to that one there. That is as if, it's also what it's like, as if you like the thought or the look of your shaving foam technique, but you don't necessarily like doing it or want to do it because it's too messy. You can get that sort of shaving foam technique, that look, by using and creating these backdrops with those inks and papers.
And Stephanie's asking, do you stick to a certain number of colours with this background method, or is it a bit of a go with your heart?
You can go as many as you want. I tend to, in general, stick to two or threes. You can go rogue and do as many as you want. What you need to keep in mind is the more colours you use, depending on the colours, the shades, the tones, the more chance of it become a muddy look. So you just need to keep that in mind. If you start to add your purples or maybe your deep tones, it can then start to all come together and create a mud brown look. Other than that, if you are going to then maybe, for instance, if we go in with, let's go in with these ones here, what you can do is you can do one set, George, and then dry it, and then go in on the other half of paper, and then do the water techniques that way. So what I mean by that is, let's add these ones in. Let's even go in within this one here. And then if I spritz that with water, I could come in and just, let's go that way for a change.
There's quite a few questions coming in about this technique. Crafty on YouTube, Crafty Stacey Lou on YouTube. So what would be the difference from spraying your card with water than the board, than the glass mat?
Say that again, sorry.
So what would be the difference from spraying your card with water than the glass mat?
Let's do it. I've not actually tried that before, so let's do it. Now again, I know I had excess ink there on my glass mat, but the only reason that I have taken it all off is so that I can go direct back in with my ink pad, because I don't want to, of course, have any of that excess water soak back up into my pad. So if we were to add that colour in there, let's go in even just with a little bit of maybe orange in here. So let's go in and then go in and spritz our card. Maybe a little bit subtler.
Yeah.
But we could go, add a bit more, pick that up. You want to be quite quick. When you're going to glass mat, you want to be quite quick and lift it.
Because Rhonda's asking as well, how long does it take for the ink to dry on the photo paper?
Oh, it's pretty much quick. That's all pretty much dry. And actually so it's just excess water, but that is not smudging or smearing whatsoever. That is dry. How smart is that? So yeah, I would say that is going for that full, maybe lighter blended edged backdrop, and that is more like specific when it comes to points and sections that you can see. Got a nice blend there. That's more marbled when it comes to spritzing onto your glass mat, then dabbing it in, compared to actually spritzing with, of course, your actual cardstock first, then dabbing it back in.
Perfect.
So yeah, so you've got these ones. Of course, I'm just going straight in with the cardstock. You could layer stencils over it and then dab that in if you want to as well. I know I've said it quite a few times within this show, or today, George, but when it comes to card and ink, it's all about playing.
Well, I was going to say, literally, within 10 minutes, you've made 3 unique papers that you could use for whatever, you know. You could cut those up and use those within.
Exactly.
You could do a big batch of them. There's so many opportunities with this ombre collection.
There is so many. There really, really is so many. I mean, I could go up into lines and sections here. If I pop that one back, let's go into this one, into here. So if you want to keep them on the same tones, you can do that. Absolutely, you can do that. Let's go in a little bit of the turquoisey into here. Let's go in, let's add that. I'm going to go back to just going onto my glass mat. And then I'm going to go direct straight in and then just pick that one up and get into the corner. Oh, look at that one.
Look at that.
Look at that. How awesome is that?
That's beautiful.
Absolutely love that one. That really is the sky and the sea, doesn't it?
It does, Sam, you are right there. It looks like a close-up of a planet.
Yeah, yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Or blue wood.
And then you could go in with, if you've got cloud dyes or that, you can go
Yeah.
with the cloud dyes if you want to as well. Maybe if you've got your shimmer sprays, go over with your shimmer sprays as well. You know what it also looks like? You know those kind of rocks that as you look into, it's got all the crystals in the middle.
Yeah.
We've got that as well. And then just while we've got this excess, let's go in and then let's just pick up, and I'm just going to keep going in. I'm stuck. My tape runner that I had on earlier. Let's go in, tap that in. I mean, so now we've got lighter marbled effect compared to that one. So you can keep going in, using up everything that you've got until it's completely used up. But I mean, just within minutes there.
Yeah.
Of playing and getting all these effects. And do you know something? If you had maybe like a little book of 10 of them, different backgrounds, you could buy in a craft store, you would look at that and think you've just bought them out of a pad.
Yes.
Pad that you've already bought, but you've actually made them. And the one thing, and I love saying this as well, is you could use that same colour that I've used there, same colour ink pad, same size cardstock, you will never, ever, ever, ever get the same effect.
No.
Or get close to looking at the same effect. Every single one that you do is completely unique in the whole world, the whole universe, the whole galaxy. You will never get an identical one. That's what I love with techniques like that.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. In the galaxy, in the universe, only here. Craig, what a great collection.
Really good, eh?
I can't believe that's the end of Make It Saturday.
Where's it gone?
Did you enjoy your first Make It Saturday?
I did. Really good. Really nice.
Was I your favourite presenter?
Good being back with you, George,
Thanks, mate.
yes.
Thanks.
Nice
Pleasure,
to get a bit of
Craig.
a break from Ben.
I know. And to be fair to you, you've not called me Ben once.
No, because I know the difference between you and Ben.
Yeah, you hear that, Lily Fletcher? He knows the difference between the difference to me and Ben. Ben talks like Ben. Hello, it's me, Ben Mosby. I think he's still on the radio. Anyway, that's Make It Saturday. I've known him a long time. I love him, really. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Craig, when are you back with us on Crafters TV?
So, I am at Hobby Maker on Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'll be back on Crafters TV a week on Monday for that full week.
Absolutely. I'm going to see you next Friday for Good Friday with the wonderful Debbie Robinson. It's a Barnsley takeover. Get the subtitles at the ready. Thank you, Nicola and Sam, as always. And also, don't forget, one last chance. That fantastic spend and save. You spend £30, you can save yourself £5. Spend £50, save yourself £10. Make sure you put these discount codes in. I don't know how long is it on for, Nicola? The full weekend, so don't miss out. If you have enjoyed the show, you want more Crafters TV, remember you can catch all our shows. They're on YouTube forever and ever. And also, Ben is going to be back tomorrow with Second Chance Sunday. It's a pre-recorded show by our wonderful social team. The wonderful Jan will be here. Thank you for today, Jan. So answering any questions that you may have, so make sure you join us tomorrow for Second Chance Sunday. I'll see you next Friday. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Toodles.